everyone, it's Imelda here
And Bella
from Three Scrappy Sisters, and I have another scrapbook process video for you. This is for the Stuck Sketches Challenge for January 2017, and I am going to be using the Park Avenue scrapbook kit from Studio Calico. So I am starting with the sketch, and I was really inspired here by these recolor transparencies by Basic Gray, and I just really liked the colors. It didn't really have anything to do with the photo that I was scrapbooking, but I really liked the pink and the purple that was in it, so I definitely wanted to use that. So I'm just starting by going through the kit and kind of putting aside what I think I might use. And I already went through the papers. I didn't realize that I wasn't filming at that point, but I chose the paper with the houses and buildings on it. It's Old Town by Studio Calico, as well as Annually by Studio Calico. I really like the black script on white for my background.
And she chose buildings and houses because we're in town in a Mexican restaurant.
Yes, this picture was taken in a Mexican restaurant. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, so I really liked the pink and the yellow and the white that was in that. So I just wanted it peeking out just a little bit. At this point, I'm thinking that I want to back all of this on the lace here from my stash, and then that I wanted to use this gray for the vertical and horizontal sections that are up and down on the sketch. So I'm going to play around with all of that. The whole time, to me, something about this gray was just not working. So I put that aside for a little bit. This lace was too thick, so I thought maybe that I would put the lace on top of the gray, kind of to soften it a bit. So you're going to watch me here. I'm trying to stick it down. I think part of the reason why I didn't think it was working was because it kept curling and rolling away on me, and I was getting really frustrated with it. But I really like the way that the layout turned out in the end. I really love it. So here I'm thinking that it can soften it. I'm going to use some of this, the reverse side of Old Town paper with the buildings. It's pink on back. So I'm going to use that just to give a little bit of hint of pink, because pink is our very favorite color.
Yep. So
I'm going to use some tissue here, and I cut it out a bit because I don't know why, but I was trying to use my ATG on the tissue. Obviously it's going to rip, so I cut that out. You didn't need to see that, even though I just told you. Whatever. Okay, so I am backing all of my photo mats on tissue paper. I have Rusty here too. And I also have, I pulled out a bunch of ribbon and fabric and lace from my stash. I have a little bit of pink tulle, so I'm going to use that as a photo mat as well. And then here I decided to just get rid of the gray altogether, at least for a little while. And I'm going to back all of this on a doily.
Of course, a doily, because Mommy loves doilies.
I use a doily all the time. I really liked the look of that tulle scrunched up in the side there. I might save that for another layout because I don't use that there. I really wanted to use this lace, so I think that's probably why I didn't go with the tulle. So I am just sticking it down a little bit here. I am planning to sew with my sewing machine on this. I was really hesitant because I've been having issues with my sewing machine. It just keeps tearing the thread from my bobbin and then the thread from the top. I don't know. Anyway, so after a lot of struggling, I finally got it, even though I'm not really too happy with the sewing since it kept tearing the thread, and then it got all filled up with adhesive, and so I just quit. It was done. It was good enough.
She has a fixed mindset.
Okay, so now you saw me there trying to put some of the gray branding strips under the lace because I'm still stuck on the idea that maybe I want some gray under the lace, but I got rid of that. So there's the doily again, and here's this lace thing again that I'm going to get a bit away. Does not make it to the layout. It's gone very soon. It's just too dark, too big, too thick, too much going on.
It has circles and squares and wavy lines and stuff.
Yeah, circles, squares, rectangles, wavy line, just way too much, too distracting for me. So I take that away. I'm going to try some washi. That washi was not the shade of gray that I was looking for, so it's gone. So I decided that the black looked good because it kind of gave my photo and the mat kind of like a shelf to sit on, so it's not just floating around in the middle of nowhere.
Because black matches great with white.
It does. And here I am just seeing if I want those buildings poking out, but I like the pink, the softness that the pink gives, especially because it's also the same shade of pink as the tulle. I thought was perfect, so I really loved that. So I'm going to add that there. And I love that. So I am going to take these color transparencies and try and figure out where I want them placed. I really like this really striped, colorful one, but my faves didn't really go with these photos since I have 2 children and I don't have favorites. They're both my favorites, but they're both not in
Leo
this picture.
and Bella.
So I did want to use the colors, but I didn't want to use the words, so I do cut it off. And I'm just tucking these transparencies in under my photo just for the color.
And don't worry about that noise. It's just scratchy noise coming from downstairs.
It's our neighbors. My parents live with us down in the basement, and they are doing some wiring with their lights. They want pot lights in their kitchen. My mom does. We have this track lighting that you can kind of move.
Let's go back to the light.
Yeah, it's fine. So we have track lighting that you can kind of move, but she doesn't like it because she feels like she's under a spotlight.
Let's go back to the layout.
So back to the layout. So I used the chipboard diamonds from the kit from Studio Calico. And I'm just going to attach here that black sort of lace. It's not lace, it's like
fabric.
Not fabric even, it's almost like crochet. It's from my stash, and I'm attaching it with my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. And then I'm just going to commit now. So I'm going to start adhering things and putting it all together. And here I go.
Using her paste that she does all the time.
I love it in this fine line bottle. It's perfect, wonderful, the greatest thing ever.
She pastes, Delinda cuts, and Diana draws.
So excuse my head there. As you could maybe have noticed, I am wearing an ear warmer. My scrapbook room is outside. It's in an old office attached to our garage, and it gets really cold in the winter. We live in Canada, so it is January, very, very cold. So I am wearing a very thick sweater and my ear warmer, and I have a space heater right beside me, but it's still cold. But I can't stay away. So there's the ear warmer again. Sorry. So we're really excited. This is going up on Thursday. We have decided to have 2 posts a week, seeing as Linda and Emma really enjoy making cards, and I really enjoy making layouts. Linda enjoys making layouts as well, but she's been focusing a lot on cards. But Thursdays we're going to have layout Thursdays, like scrapbook layout on Thursdays, and on Mondays we're going to change that to Make a Card Monday. So stay tuned every week for 2 videos from us, one on Monday, one on Thursday. This one actually I might post a little early.
And she has too much arms.
I'm going to post this probably on Wednesday, or maybe the next one will be on, I think the next week I'll probably post my Thursday layout video on Monday just because I'm going to Jamaica next week. So I'm not going to be able to post while I'm there. Even though there is Wi-Fi there.
Maybe I'll take your place.
Anyhow, so I am just playing around with these triangles, these diamonds here. And I really liked this purple one down here. I felt like it was almost acting like an arrow pointing towards the picture, which was perfect. So now I am going to mat this whole thing on the back of the annuals page because I really like that script. And so I'm just going to gut that. At the moment, I was regretting that I didn't gut the center of it. And I couldn't, cut the center of it out. And that I couldn't mat all the way around. But I really like the way it ended up looking. I feel like it anchors the page to the bottom left side, which is where I want the focus to be. So it was a happy mistake. Okay, so just some finishing touches. I'm going to put a little nest of thread right under that corner. And I am just warming my hands and thinking of what to do next.
Drumming her fingers on the table. It's her passion.
So here I think I'm almost done, but something's missing. Of course, ink splatters. Wonderful, wonderful Heidi Shine ink splatters. I'm going to use some gold, and I'm also going to use the purple. It's called amethyst. I think that's how you say it.
Sounds like a crystal.
It does. I think that's what it's called, or what it's named after. So now I am going to emboss my title, which is the most wonderful part of... Oh my gosh, so sorry. We didn't realize that we're using the microphone that's not even plugged into the computer. We're silly, silly girls. Okay, oh wow, so sorry about that. We had to take a little breather there because we're just so silly. Anyways, back to the layout. Sorry. I am going to be working on the title now. I am using some gold heat emboss. And the title, which is actually really the inspiration for this layout, I think it was probably about a year ago. Bella here was in a very, very good mood. She was being quite silly. And I looked at her and I said, "What's happening to you? Why are you being so silly?" And she said,
"I'm happy as a sparkle."
She said she's happy as a sparkle, which I thought was so adorable.
And it just popped up to my mind. I didn't even think of saying that.
I haven't heard it from anybody else. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, yeah, what else, how else would a sparkle feel? And a sparkle would feel super happy. So that is my title, Happy as a Sparkle. And I used it in gold. I just cut it out of my silhouette and I embossed it in gold, which I really love.
And then a little cut thing above the sparkle that says sparkle, it says Happy as a.
Happy as a. So I am just going through these Tim Holtz small talk occasions stickers, and I'm adding some. The one under the photo says I love you. The other one says XOXO. The other one says enjoy today. One of them says you make me smile. I think, no, it says you make my heart smile.
And also says one of them says smile.
No, it says you make my heart smile. And the other one says I am thankful for you.
And smile.
So finishing touches, I'm going to be adding some gems, some pearls, and some enamel dots. The enamel dots are from Michael's. The pearls are from a dollar store. And
of course,
these
Michael's.
Rhinestones are My Mind's Eye Lush Rhinestones, which are really pretty. So I'm all done. So here are some close-ups and some stills for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you on Monday for a card, and probably next Thursday, maybe next Monday, for another layout. Thanks, and have a good day.